What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes the 31st August edition of the Red Brand and looks at the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including Brock Lesnar is now a free agent, Rey Mysterio has a triceps injury, Mauro Ranallo quits, Roman Reigns blasts a fan online, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we won't waste your time recapping the matches, but we will take a look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly from last night's show. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Randy Orton's promo. Randy Orton continued to entertain this week with his promo mocking Drew McIntyre's injury and saying that the champ was spending time with his friends. He then showed a picture of an injured McIntyre next to his injured friends Edge, Ric Flair, The Big Show, Christian, and Shawn Michaels. This promo was a great way to show another dimension of the Legend Killer's sadistic side, as he found some humor in his victim's suffering. Number 2, Cedric Alexander turned tease. Could fans be seeing Cedric Alexander joining the Hurt Business? His use of tights to score a win over MVP seemed to get MVP's approval, and the Hurt Business's boss even had Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin refrain from giving Cedric a post-match beatdown. This may be just a tease, but it could also be a good way for the WWE to give Alexander's career a much-needed push. Number 3, Retribution attacks. Retribution struck again, interfering in the Wild Tornado tag match between the Street Profits and the seemingly soon-to-split team of Angel Garza and Andrade. The attack was a great way to give the mysterious mass marauders some television time, as rumor has it that the WWE wanted Payback to be all about Roman Reigns' title win, which it was. Whatever the case, it's good to see the group continuing its attacks, and it's also furthered the breakup of Andrade and Angel Garza. That was the good. What about the baddest? Number 1, the Iconics disband. Last night's show was another example of the WWE's half-baked booking of its women's tag team division. We've simply given up on the division because it's obvious the WWE gave on it pretty much as soon as the Boss and Hug connection lost to the Iconics last year, but it still bears mentioning. Speaking of the Iconics, the talented team of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are no more, and while there may have been rumors of a split, reportedly due to Vinnie Mac being high on pushing Royce as a single star, this one came out of left field. They dropped the ball on a match that could have meant more if it had been hyped more. After all, it's not every show that two teams compete with the stipulation that the losing team disbands. The Iconics were one of the few solid tag teams in the women's division, and there's no guarantee Peyton Royce's singles career will make up for it, especially when WWE only concentrates on a handful of wrestlers in the division. Number 2, Lana wrestles. Not much needs to be said other than Lana wrestled, depriving fans of a chance to see a much more talented performer battle Mickie James. While the idea was for Mickie to get revenge on Lana, the match was another reminder that as a wrestler, Lana makes a better manager. Number 3, crazy camera work. The triple threat match to determine the number 1 contender for the championship was short but sweet, as Randy Orton stole a win from Keith Lee, pinning Seth Rollins after the Limitless One spirit bombed the Monday Night Messiah, only to eat an RKO. However, the camera work featured so many quick cuts and changing camera angles that it was difficult to follow the action at times. WWE's production team needs to stop trying to make audition tapes for Hollywood action movies and remember the difference between cinematic matches and traditional matches. Number 4, Raw Underground. If the WWE's goal with Raw Underground is to kill time with something other than segments like recent Viking Raiders vs Street Profits competitive series, it's a success. If not, the program continues to fail as it has no purpose, no direction, and no entertainment value. Fans and wrestling pundits are already predicting how much longer until Raw Underground disappears. Number 5, pitiful post-pay-per-view program. This week's Raw was another missed opportunity, as they missed out on impressing fans who tuned into Payback, liked what they saw, and decided to give Raw a chance. Granted, Payback wasn't a major pay-per-view, but it was still a pay-per-view, and Raw ruined its chances to air a strong follow-up show. Of course, Raw aired a dud of a go-home show for Payback, so it's no surprise that WWE aired last night another dud. Now, there was nothing downright ugly about last night's show, although we are being gracious by not putting Lana's match in this section, but it was a downright disappointment for a post-pay-per-view show. Raw continues to air inconsistent shows, while SmackDown has been airing consistently entertaining ones. What did you guys think of Raw? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at Brock Lesnar officially being a free agent. The hottest news right now is that Brock Lesnar is a free agent. PW Insider's Mike Johnson broke the story on 31st August, writing, "Former WWE and UFC champion Brock Lesnar is currently a free agent as his most recent deal with WWE is expired without the two sides locking in a new contract. While the two sides have been working on a new deal, they have hit an impasse and have paused discussions. This leaves Lesnar on the open market where he could, if he desires, field offers from outside WWE, whether it be AEW or other wrestling promotions, UFC, or even outside endeavors beyond combat sports." As we noted yesterday in the news, fans and news writers' antennas went up when they saw that Lesnar's merchandise had been taken off WWE's shop. However, it's come out that Lesnar hasn't been under contract with the WWE since this year's WrestleMania. Meltzer commented on the Wrestling Observer Radio that, "So Brock's contract actually expired months ago in April, but nobody knew it because it wasn't really an issue. This isn't the first time, he does that all the time. The contract will expire at WrestleMania and most people don't know about it. Lesnar typically takes time off after Mania and is ready to come back at SummerSlam. However, his absence since Mania and his status as a free agent has fans wondering whether Lesnar might show up in AEW or even returning to fighting in UFC. According to Meltzer, as far as he knows, he hasn't been negotiating with UFC. I mean, obviously everybody's talking about the possibility of UFC, the possibility of AEW. I mean, the basic thing is that there was no rush to bring him back and sign him. Usually he would be brought back for SummerSlam, but he wasn't used for SummerSlam. He would be booked for the next Saudi Arabia show in November, but that isn't happening and there's no rush to bring him back. The biggest mystery is why Lesnar hasn't been used by the WWE. Is it finished with pro wrestling? Is WWE unwilling to shell out the usual Mr. McMahon's millions for him as the promotion runs a leaner budget during the pandemic? Whatever the situation, we'll be sure to cover it. Where do you think Lesnar's going? Is he staying in WWE? Possibly going back to UFC? Or could Tony Khan bring out a huge offer for him to show up in AEW? Next up, why Lesnar's merchandise was pulled. If the Beast hasn't been under contract since WrestleMania 36, why was his merchandise kept online until several months after he left the promotion? Well, Detective Dave Meltzer explained why during a recent Wrestling Observer Radio, revealing what happened this week which caused all of this is his merchandise got pulled from the website. His contract allows for a time frame, I don't know if it's 4 months or whatever, but his contract allowed a time frame window. I mean, you could still sell through the inventory that they had, but they couldn't advertise selling it after a certain day. And I think the day is just a couple of days ago, so it was pulled. What's interesting is that it wasn't until the merchandise was taken off that the news broke of Lesnar being a free agent. Next up, a bit of concerning news as Rey Mysterio tears his triceps. Bad news for Rey Mysterio, who just signed a new deal with WWE, as Mysterio injured his tricep at Payback with no definite word on when the popular star will return. Meltzer confirmed WWE referred to the injury as a triceps tear and that it's likely the real injury, but as of right now, it's not thought to be as serious as a full tear that would require surgery. The word going around tonight is that Mysterio is expected out of action for 2 months or maybe less and will be able to recover through rehab and won't need surgery. Rey's last few years have seen a number of setbacks due to injuries, and it's likely he'll be injured again due to him still performing at the fast-paced style despite him being 45. Next up, some more fan hijacks on Raw. Now, the WWE has been working hard to keep people from hijacking the Thunderdome's virtual fan experience by posting offensive and inappropriate images. You'll likely recall some idiot posted an image of the Clan on Raw last week, not to mention another one posting a picture of Chris Benoit. This week, things hit a new low when someone wore their Clan costume during the Dolph Ziggler vs Keith Lee bout. As hard as the WWE has been working to halt these hijacks, it will have to work even harder, but what can it do besides banning offenders? Next up, Mauro Ranallo quits WWE. WWE announcer Mauro Ranallo has revealed he has left the WWE after being with the promotion since 2015. He posted a message on his Facebook saying, "I appreciate the opportunity I had to realize my childhood dream of working in sports entertainment, and I wish WWE well in the future. Now I want to direct my focus and devote my time to my other projects and to my mental health charitable activities and the well-being of my mother and myself." WWE then confirmed this, saying WWE and Mauro Ranallo have mutually and amicably agreed to part ways. Mauro's passion and enthusiasm left an indelible and exciting mark with WWE and its fans, and we wish wish him the best in his future endeavors. We'd also like to wish Ranallo the best for the future. Next up, Roman Reigns blasts a fan. Roman Reigns' recent Universal Championship win at Payback made some fans happy and obviously upset others. One fan even decided to express his outrage on Twitter, what a surprise, by saying, "Roman being forced down people's throats again, such an overrated performer. The belt has changed hands so many times it just has no prestige. Rubbish." This post apparently upset Reigns as he took the time to reply, tweeting, "Only reason I'm down your throat is because you keep your mouth open. I'm the best performer of this generation, period, and the title is finally in the right hands for it to hold true value." Is Roman right? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, the Big Show has been cancelled. Last but not least, fans of the Netflix series will be saddened to hear that the program has been cancelled. Deadline.com broke the story that the comedy, along with another comedy, Ashley Garcia Genius in Love, will soon end, noting fans will get one more original episode of each show as the streamer had commissioned special Christmas episodes of both comedies to be released this December. Now, even though Jason Berger, one of the show's executive producers, made a tweet thanking the viewers and everybody involved, the Big Show has yet to make a comment. Did you guys watch the show? If so, what did you think of it? Are you sad that it's cancelled? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists. And I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.